Hey everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. How's everybody doing today? Nice to see all those smiley faces on a Sunday. We do our shows live generally 7 days a week, which is unbelievable. It's our entertainment lifestyle talk show series. We started about 410 episodes again. Happy weekend, everybody. If you're watching this live, if you're watching this 2 months from now, 6 months from now, or a year from now, we just hope you're having a good day. I'm your host, Jim Masters. This is a show where we have great entertainment, inspiring conversations, light, love, levity, and our famous levity as well, and viewer interaction and a whole host of cool things with guests who literally come from all around the world. They are in Broadway, in Hollywood, and television, and music, and film, as well as sports, comedy, culinary arts, inspiration, you name it. And they hop on, they stop by JMS Live for some great conversation and entertainment as well. Today, we are celebrating and welcoming Tony-winning producer Adam Weinstock joining us. And it's so cool to have him here. He has been involved in so many productions and projects. He has worked with incredible talent over the years. Bruce Valanche, Margaret Cho, Paula Poundstone, just to name a few. And he's joining us in just a minute here on the Jim Masters Show Live. First, we would love it watching our show right now if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, the channel you're watching right now. That helps the show big time. It allows us to continue to deliver all this great content to you as often as we do, 7 days a week. A lot of production, a lot of hard work behind the scenes here to do it as often as we do it, and especially doing it live and not just weekdays, but on weekends, weeknights. Wow, I signed up for that. So it's pretty cool. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We would love that. Click the notification bell so you never miss any of our episodes, live episodes, surprise pop-up shows, on location episodes, and all the other cool stuff we do just for all of you, the fans of the Jim Masters Show Live. We toast all of you as well. And also give us a thumbs up on the YouTube channel underneath the video, this episode that you're watching right now. Give us a thumbs up. YouTube does like to follow that and track that. So give us a thumbs up on this episode right on our YouTube channel. And also drop a comment underneath this episode, this video, on our YouTube channel as well. I know you guys like to comment live during the show, but if you can also drop a comment on the actual YouTube channel itself, that helps us big time as well. So good to have you with us. We toast everybody all around the world. We're here in the greater New York area along the beautiful, sunny Southern New England coast today. Right after this show, we've been working this morning on producing the episodes that are coming up. But right after the show, we are getting out of Dodge and we're going to the water. We're just a couple blocks from the ocean here. And we're meeting up with everybody. We're going to be doing some walking and cycling and enjoying and then going to dinner. It's going to be nice, because it is the weekend. So we do have to enjoy some of the weekend. Yesterday, we had 2 shows live. So we've been working ever since we started the Jim Masters Show Live. So here we go again. Before I spill it, we toast you and you and you and you. Good to have everybody here. The return of the hat you guys love. I know. I think Linda Odell and several of you love the hat when I put the hat on. So the hat looks good. And we just got a note in from the newsroom. And that says, okay, I appreciate that. My left sideburn needs to be pushed in. Thank you very much, assistant. I actually had a note just tossed from one of our assistants. Thank you very much. I appreciate these notes. If anything else happens during the show, just slip me a note. Nobody will notice. These sideburns do have to be cut because, as you guys know, my hair comes down to here. And right now it is pulled back, twisted, and it's like, it's under the hat. If I take the hat off, boom. The longest I've ever had the hair in my life. But you know what? It's been a cool experiment. I've never had an opportunity to let it go this long. First, it was because of the pandemic. Then it was reaching that 1 year point. And now I'm just seeing how long I can go. I have some major television work where it may need to be a little shorter coming up in July. So we'll have to see what we can do with it. I was able to get away with tucking it into the turtlenecks in the wintertime, but in a hot studio, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that in the summer. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live, everybody. We welcome all the loveties watching all around the world. Spread the word, whether you're watching live or later on in our archives. Tell everybody about our show. We would really love that. Tell your friends, your family, your colleagues, your associates. As we said, hit that thumbs up on the YouTube channel underneath this video. and drop a comment there for us. We would love that as well. If you haven't, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We would love that. Let us know where you're watching from today, too, whether you're watching live or maybe in the archives. We love to know where our viewers come from. We have an international audience as well. And again, today, we welcome on JMS Live, Tony-winning producer Adam Weinstock. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about him. He's really amazing. He's a multi-talented guy. He's always busy. He's always got his hands in so many different things. And it's really a pleasure to have him here on the show. If you're not familiar with his work, well, you shall be. He's really, really cool. He's done just about everything. I just want to show you some of, here's a cool shot. Look at this shot here. Surrounded by what we call levity. That is true levity on the Jim Masters Show Live. I'll tell you a little about him. Co-owner of Red Spear LLC, president of Creative Concept Productions, sole owner, proprietor, and president of Creative Concept for over 25 years, formed the partnership with Roger Cooper to create Red Spear LLC Productions. Together since 2016, they have invested in, produced, and created nearly 36 Tony Award-winning and Tony-nominated productions. That's right. He served also as chairman of the board of EAT, which is Emerging Artists Theater, and currently vice president as well. He's really incredible in terms of the amount of things that he's done in his career. Produced over 100 shows ranging from 1996, a revival of Matt Crowley's The Boys in the Band, to the critically acclaimed 21 Dog Years, doing time at Amazon.com and the Cherry Lane Theater. He's worked closely with President Clinton, John Shea, as well as Bruce Valanche and Judy Tenuta, Charles Bush, who was a guest on our show, Margaret Cho, Ellen Green, Paula Poundstone, Sandra Bernhard, Michael Feinstein, Linda Eder, and so many others. He also directs and acts as himself. Dubbed Mr. Entertainment by the New York Times in a feature article in 2002. Adam Weinstock is produced on both coasts of the United States, as well as in London on the West End. And he was involved in the CCP nearly a dozen productions in the summer of 2014 alone. Again, amazing that they've had an opportunity to be involved in 24 Tony-winning and nominated productions, 3 award-winning films, 2 cast albums, and on and on and on. We're so happy to have him here on our show this Sunday. Adam Weinstock is joining us. Adam, welcome to the show. It's good to have you with us.
Hi, Jim. How's my left sideburn?
The right side burn, maybe just press it down a little. How are you?
I'm great. I don't have an assistant to tell me how my hair looks. So
well, today I have an assistant. Yes, for quality control, because we like to put on award-winning productions here. So we always like to make sure everything looks good and sounds good. How are you? And are you in New York right now?
I'm in New York State. I'm out on Long Island, which I believe you hail from.
I hail from Long Island. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Are you way out east towards the Hamptons or the North Shore, the South Shore?
I am in the center.
In the center?
Directly in the center, like the county line.
Between Suffolk and Nassau. So that's sort of like Farmingdale, Huntington, those areas. Huntington?
Well, I'm Massapequa.
Oh, Massapequa, yes, Massapequa.
More toward the South Shore, I guess.
Massapequa. Didn't the Baldwin brothers come from Massapequa? And
they came from Matza Pizza.
Yes, and Seinfeld, Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, and I got Rosie, and I remember I was reading.
And Rosie O'Donnell's from Comac. Yeah.
Oh, right. So that's
Comac, Long Island is Rosie, and Billy Joel.
Yes, of course. He's one of our most famous Long Islanders.
Long Island as well.
I can't think of Amy's last name. She had, in her book, she had written all about the Adventureland.
Oh, yes, in Farmingdale.
Yeah, yeah. And it's opened again.
It is now open.
Open up. So that's great. Yeah.
So are you from the island originally?
No.
Where are you from originally?
I was born and raised in Flushing.
In Flushing, okay, yes.
And then my parents moved out to the country.
They moved out to what people would call the boondocks back then. Yes, when you moved out from the city, if you were going out to the island, it was considered the boondocks. Not quite the boondocks anymore. But yeah, it's funny. And if you go, we've had a lot of comical moments on the show. One of them I mentioned that if you live on Long Island, which is quite beautiful, and the further out east you go, I mean, the Hamptons, it looks like New England. It's really beautiful and surrounded by water and beaches and everything. If you go, if you're from the island, or even probably the city proper, if you're going, what you say is upstate, anything north of the Bronx, everybody says they're going upstate. So if you're going to Rye, or you're going to Mamaroneck, you're going to White Plains, you tell everybody we're going upstate for the weekend. And then you talk to somebody in White Plains that says, this is not upstate. This is Westchester. Upstate is like Syracuse and Buffalo. But you're going upstate if you're on the island. Anything north of the Bronx, you're going upstate for the weekend.
You're not wrong. When I went to college in Albany, I had no idea that upstate there was like Syracuse, Oneonta, like they're nowhere near each other.
There's all these other.
I was like,
yes,
it's a big state, you know.
It is absolutely. So, how have you been? Obviously, you know, things have been closed, theaters and venues, concert halls, and even TV studios have been closed or limited, you know, not allowing public in. Now that's all starting to slowly change. How have you remained creative and collaborative and connected and sane during everything we've experienced the last 13, 14 months? And I'll tell you, Adam, that whenever I say the sane part, most people say, get back to me on that, Jim. I'm still working on that part.
Yeah, I'll say the same. Yeah, you know, while I was discovering parts of Long Island, you know, because there was a lot, you know, you stay within your radius, you go to the same restaurants, and there's so much more to see. You know, whether you go to the North Shore, the South Shore, even just another town, just to try different restaurants and see when you could try restaurants. I mean, you can now. I went to a restaurant just yesterday, which has been in my town of Massapequa for ages. I never tried. It was a Cajun restaurant called Big Daddy's, and it was fantastic. Do you know Big Daddy's?
No, I haven't been to that one. No.
Yeah, forever, and it was fantastic. It was fantastic.
I know somebody named Big Daddy, but haven't been to that restaurant.
Professionally, it's been a challenge.
Yeah.
Professionally, it's been a big challenge. And, you know, after we were 6 months into the COVID crisis, you know, everything shut down in March. And we didn't know if in another 2 months, another 3. And as it progressed, I started to honestly lose my desire to do. I was like, boy, I don't want to. People were telling me about shows. I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to read your script. I just took a hiatus, you know, and my producing partner in Red Spear was all for that too. He was like, let's take a break. Luckily, we opened up a show in the UK just before everything closed down. It got 24 like brilliant reviews. So we're real happy to be involved with that. And it should be opening again in about 3 months. Yeah. And we're very excited about that. Then, you know, I started watching the readings that people were putting up, seeing if I could find something that was interesting. I went to the Adelaide Fest virtually. But the virtual theater, when it started, you know, it wasn't really very good. It was hard to just sit in front of a screen and watch, you know, and some people would do something funky and they would pass a bottle to somebody else and they would have the bottle and I'd be like, it wasn't really working for me. I would check my phone, the lawn, you know, when I was doing virtual theater as an audience member, I was like, oof. However, EAT, Emerging Artists Theater, which gives voices to new people, we had to cancel our, you know, first spring New Work series, but we did the fall New Work series, and we gave a couple of artists the chance to produce as well as they could. I think we did 4 shows and up, and it got a lot of views, and some of them were great. And then one we did again in the spring, and it's this Doris Day retrospective.
Wow.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And he's added songs now. So she sings all of, you know, the Doris Day hit. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm not sure it's ready yet, but you know, I was able to watch it. I was able to sit in front and watch and see.
And to actually see wow. That's exciting. So that's up and coming. What about other things? What You know, when everybody got that call last March that everything was closing and everything was shutting, they all have this memory of what they were doing and where they were. And a lot of people were just about to launch some major things, or they just started major things. And then that phone call came and everything came to a grinding halt. Back then, how about you? What was happening for you that had to be paused?
It was tricky. I was going to go see the girl from the North Country with my aunt, and she is, of an age, and she was like, I don't know if I can go. I don't know if and then as everything shut down, we were involved with company in London, and it didn't really get to open. We were just sort of looking
more chill too, right? We were involved in Be More Chill.
Mark we Levine. Were More Chill here, which which had opened in London and was doing really well in London, better than it did here. It was doing really well in London, and and it was going to open in Chicago and didn't get to.
Yeah, I had heard that. Yes,
I don't know. I think that shows a hoot. A lot of I had a couple of friends, they didn't get it, but I just loved it. I could listen to the soundtrack. We missed out on Hadestown.
There's Be More Chill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Will that come back?
To New York? I don't know. You know what? I think it could come back to, say, let me put my producer hat on. I think it would do really well at like New World Stages with a 500-seat house. I think it could play there for a long time. Follow the Avenue Q route where it moved from Broadway to off Broadway and ran for a long time. I think it could work.
There's another project too that I know you've had involvement in, which is really exciting. This one.
That's the one.
Yeah, tell us about this. The people, of course, know the movie with Michael J. Fox, and this is amazing.
I got to tell you that the movie team is involved. The producers from the movie and Zemeckis, these are the people who are bringing it to the London stage, and it'll come to New York.
Yeah.
This is the show I alluded to that we did get to open in Manchester, like February, 25th. And the opening in Manchester, like, how we opened in New Haven, they opened some shows in Manchester.
Right.
It was like the Manchester Opera House. So it was a huge house and people loved it. They just, and when I was reading the review after review, it's such fun. And, I was watching, what was I watching on TV the other night? Little America's Got Talent, and they played the Back to the Future song, the Huey Lewis, the power of love, because we all need love. We all need the power of love these days.
Yeah.
And they wrote new music. I think it'll be the musical theater comfort food that will get an ordinary theater going, not like, the aficionados, to a seat. Something like what Mamma Mia did for the folk after 9/11, where you just want to have a good time. You don't necessarily want to be taught anything. You don't want to learn a history lesson. And you want to hear I think what they did is so smart, because they have new songs for a musical. Because they really thought, how do we turn this into a musical? How can we make this a successful musical? There were a lot of discussions about that, because it has to be a different animal. It's a different genre. It's not the fun. And the cars on stage, and they're really doing a good job of getting the word out. Tickets are selling now for, I think it says on the website, it's going to open August 20th. I'll give Jim Masters a scoop. We'll open September 20th.
September 20th.
Okay. But even the Back to the Future on the West End website says opening August 20th.
Yeah.
And, they're a little behind, but I'm well aware.
Yeah. So what you just gave us is
nobody here knows that,
which happens on our show often, and we have a graphic for that. It's a world premiere exclusive.
What's it? The Levity.
You heard it here first. Levities on the Jim Masters Show live. That's incredible. So September then. Yeah.
I'd like to go over. I was going to go over in April. I didn't make it to the opening in Manchester. I was going to go in April, just at my leisure, because it was out of town, and we didn't get to go. And right now, we still have to quarantine if we go over, which I don't get.
Yeah, the UK
Countries,
has England is there's I guess variants now of COVID that have popped up, so there's sort of like a
that would be
lockdown.
a danger to me. Like I could see having to quarantine when I came back here if the variants are there.
Yeah,
I don't quite get.
now they're not letting people into England, right?
Well, you can go, but you have to quarantine 10 days, and that's the whole trip. So.
Yes, right. Yeah, we're sort of blessed here. Other parts of the world are still struggling. Yeah, we are blessed here.
Right.
How did you first get involved in the arts and in theater, Adam? What were some of those early inspirations for you in your life growing up?
That's a goof. How did I first get involved in the?
Others in the family that are also in
there are. I have to give my mom credit. My mom, she still is a character. She was an actress, but in community theater. And, growing up in my household on the weekends, both my dad and my mom would play the cast albums. And I think I wish I knew where they were. They might be somewhere, because I can remember the covers for Man of La Mancha. I think it was a Hirschfeld drawing. It was so bizarre. It was the stick figures, and he makes it such caricatures that they were just astounding to a child. And Fiddler on the Roof. So they would play them on the weekends, and I would learn every song. And they're musicals, brilliant musicals like the Man of La Mancha and Fiddler on the Roof. You sing along to, and I would sing along, and then I guess I just liked putting on shows. My brother was more the sports guy, and I was more the theater guy.
So did you put on like plays in the garage or plays in the bedroom? I mean, those different things growing up?
And I haven't thought about this in a while, but actually at camp and in my high school, another student and I, her name is Laura Stracali, I don't know if she'll ever see this, we decided there was no school play. There might have been a musical, yeah, but there wasn't a play.
It wasn't a play.
We decided to ask the administration if we could get an advice, and it was student directed. And we started the play, I think in high school then, the ninth graders were in the middle school, or the junior high, they called it then. And Laura and I started the play, the Kennedy Players, and we put on, and the kids would build the set, and the kids would, kids
did all that, yeah.
But, it was a good time, and it makes for great camaraderie. And then I decided I would go to college and major in theater. And, my undoing, that was it.
Where did you go?
I went to Albany, and SUNY Albany. And
SUNY Albany, yeah.
I think they gave me a great education in the theater. They had a great program where you would have movement every day, and every other day, voice or acting. And I can remember all my teachers' names. My movement teacher was Constance Vallis Hill. She was brilliant. My acting teacher was he the voice teacher? Jim Leone was voice, and Jim, I can't remember. It was a while ago. But there were some people from, my college who've done incredible things. I wish I had a cheat sheet so I could tell you their names.
Yeah.
Frank Whaley, who was in, a million things. Terry Vandenbosch was on a soap opera. Brian McNamara did great things.
Was there one particular person that maybe stood out for you that you look towards or look back at as one of those people who really inspired you, whether they were a professor or a teacher or somebody in the industry that really did or said something to that clicked and you remember fondly?
I wasn't a favorite in my theater department back then.
Were you rambunctious?
I was a player. I was a Don Juan. I was just, whatever I was back then. And, there was some, I guess they got cast more. They were more talented then. Since then, I think I've improved and have been acting more since college. I'm still friendly with a great many people from my college. My college friends, they weren't in the theater. All right. But then I had my theater friends, my college friends, and then there were the townies. At the end of my college career, I went to a place called ISIPA, the Empire State Institute for Performing Arts, inside this building called the Egg in Albany. And all these teacher artists, they got paid a teacher salary and they put on a season. And I think in my season when I interned there, and this was really inspiring, they did The Crucible, and Then There Were None. I can't remember them all. They did an incredible season of musicals and plays that just knocked my socks off. And then I was able to stay. I got cast right out of college in a production of The Wind in the Willows, Edmund Waterstreet from the National Theater of the Deaf. And I was a weasel in a big weasel costume with weasel hands and a weasel. I couldn't get out. A stagehand had to open the door because I had weasel mittens. We had to sing in our weasel costume. And it was different because we had to move in one direction and face the other.
Yeah.
And it was just
like a weasel would.
Well, the parts I had when I was acting back then in those final years of it was the same part in every play. Whether I was part of Falstaff's Band of Merry Men and Henry IV, Part 1, or the Weasel in Wind in the Willows, or a muleteer in the Man of La Mancha. I finally got to do the Man of La Mancha. It was all the rabble-rousing folk.
Yeah.
You had a bar scene where they drank, where they sang Aldonza, or the Weasel drinking song, where they were with Falstaff while he, it was the same part in all those different genres. Whether it was a musical or Shakespeare or The Wind in the Willows, I was a weasel.
So, I mean, there's a lot that happens between being a weasel to a Tony-winning producer, but what would be one or two crucial moments in your life where that really opened up the doors for you? People noticed, obviously, your talent and your tenacity, and these events or these productions or these opportunities came your way, and that really spurred on, the launch of the career for you from the weasel forward.
As I said, I knew I wasn't a favorite among the college department, teachers. So when I moved to Chicago to be in Second City, to join an improv, to learn something I hadn't learned in college, comedy improvisation, then I was at Second City. And they had this whole history of incredible entertainers that were on Saturday Night Live. You could just get on stage and do your improv, or go, and if you were in the program, you could go watch them do their improvisation set. And Richard Kind was on the main stage. Asta Lynetta was on the main stage. Oh, who was in my class? He's brilliant. He's a superstar now. Not Jim. I don't know what's with me in names.
It's a Sunday.
Virgin. He's in The Office. He's
oh yes, I can picture him right now. Yes,
he's brilliant. And we were in the same. We had homework together. We were in the same class. Oh gosh, I don't know why I can't. I can Google it real quick. Steve Carell.
Yes.
Right. So I was working with the likes of them, so I felt good enough, even though they haven't had the career that I've had. But
I'll tell you,
I was, you play tennis against better tennis people, and you feel like you're better. And I just decided to self-motivate. Just keep going. We formed a comedy group called the Illegitimate Players back in the 80s and 90s. And we played at a club called the Roxy, and we wrote our scenes. And when there was something in the news, we would write another comedy bit, and we would take out old ones and put in new ones, and that was for a couple of years.
That's
and it was
incredible.
So you're working with people that are supporting.
Was comedy always tugging at your heart? Were you always leaning towards comedy? Was that something, because you worked with so many incredible, great comedians and comedians?
Something about comedy, I still find it kind of hard and embarrassing when some great actors do comedy, but when some comedians do some great acting, I'm like, yeah, they got it.
Yeah.
That's why Steve's so good at even his serious roles, or you could take John Cleese out of Monty Python and put him as Petruchio in Shakespeare, and he's brilliant. there's something about comedians where they're on that stage for so long and they're writing their own material. You know, Second City teaches you that improv where you're thinking as an actor, a director, and a producer, if you're getting yourself in front of a microphone and on stage, all at the same time. And there's something about that that didn't happen in college, but college gave me the foundation to accept that. I'm like, oh, this is a way to go. And then when I wasn't really making it, when I came back to New York from Chicago, I thought, I love the theater. Maybe I can make theater, maybe producing. And that's, you know, coming, because in Chicago, you feel like you can get a better foothold, maybe.
Yeah.
Dog eat dog, auditioning, going to agents, going to agencies, you know, and they would say, oh, you know, your sideburn is too long, or your this is, or your accent, or, you know, and, you know, that it's a tough life, that actor life. I'm not saying producing is easy either, but I fell into producing and I love it. And every once in a while, if a role that's right for me comes my way,
you'll dip into it. What is a role that's perfect for Adam Weinstock? Do you see that character?
Joe Marshall, who's living on Long Island now, did a show called The Gayest Christmas Pageant Ever, and he cast me as a producer. So it was a show about putting on a Christmas pageant, and I got cast as a producer. So that was pretty good. I've been cast as a teacher a lot because I, you know, teach. And someone was just I was just emailing with someone who they're looking. Verizon is looking for anecdotes from teachers, and you know, unfortunately, sometimes when you get approached about these parts or these things, they also want you to provide the location, and I can't provide a school and a classroom full of students for them over the summer.
No,
maybe during the school year I could have, but it's just that it probably won't work, but we'll see.
Yeah. That's amazing, huh? So you've dabbled in that world, but the producing really speaks to your heart.
Here's a funny one. I played God in a show, I don't know, 2016. And I had a tablet, and because I had trouble, you know, now that I'm in my 50s with the lines. So I had the, you know, God would hit his tablet and it would thunder and lightning.
Yeah.
What I played God was a little bit of everything. One line I gave Latinx accent to, and one line I gave a New York Brooklyn line to, because I thought God was everything. And one line I gave you know, a British accent to. So I played God as like this melting pot of humanity, and it worked really well.
Yeah. You know who else played God?
Oh wow! Look at that. Yeah.
George Burns.
Right. Like, you know, a comedic legend who, you know.
So we got two God players here on the Jim Master Show live. God 1 and God 2. He sends his best. And he's got a cigar and he's ready to go. Whenever I show this, everybody puts a smile on everybody's face. They're like, oh my God, it's George Burns.
And there it is right there. Like, you didn't have to go get it. George Burns handy.
Yeah, that's it.
And what do
I could be one of those models on The Price is Right. Take a look at the washing machine.
I have a Buddha handy.
So Buddha says hello to George.
He's on my dining room table. So
it's always good to have a Buddha handy, right? So what do you got in there?
Oh, that's just some water. I'm just trying to hide.
That's what everybody says.
No, I'm not going to tell you what's in, but that, you know.
But the other one is water.
I have two because I thought if this is 2 hours, I might, you know. Let's.
Oh my God. So again, great opportunities. The producing bug bit you, and you've had an opportunity to work, as I was saying, with some extraordinary people along the way. I just wanted to show some of the projects, some of the people. Might recognize this lot here. Yeah.
Just got a text photo or a Facebook photo of Randy. Well, that's, you know, Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah.
It's Randy and Randy's partner, who I haven't had the joy of working with. He's brilliant. I can't, again, with the names today. That's my failing as a human being. Randy is brilliant. He's an Australian superstar. There's another Australian superstar I'm looking to work with very soon. Hans the German, he was on 18 AG&T.
Mm-hmm.
Hans will kill next year if I get. And I see it, producer. I want to produce Hans, and I want to produce Hannah Gadsby. And there we are. And that's from Theater Talk. That's Susan Haskins from Theater Talk. So it was on Theater Talk. They put the purple puppet on Theater Talk. They were on the same episode as Mean Girls. And the Mean Girls people, they weren't as nice as like the Randy people, because I'm nice. And the Mean Girls, it was all about Mean Girls in 2018. And we closed in 2018 right around June 10th. I think it was. And my production assistant, Catherine Ann Taylor, who's going to be overjoyed that I mentioned her, I met in Edinboro. When I met Randy in 2016, it took me 2 years to get him to Off-Broadway. Oh, that's the picture she sent me. And if you look to the gentleman of size in the background, that is my business partner, Roger Cooper. And next to him is his new wife, Anne. And Roger is brilliant. And we formed Red Spear together.
Very nice.
Because we worked on Eat. And there's Catherine right next to Randy. Met her in Edinboro because a student from POB-JFK was in a show she was producing in Edinboro. My friend Jamie Fetter said, "Oh, you have to see my students play." And I'm like, all right. And Catherine Ann, she's enterprising. She took me to coffee. We started up a friendship. She's in my apartment right now, right at this minute. Well, probably not this minute, because she's from North Carolina. She's brilliant. She was my house manager for Randy. Every night she was there. I didn't have to be there. That's what being a producer is. You have for good people.
Right.
And, she's working the Tribeca Film Festival. Month of June.
That's fantastic. And it's nice that that's back, right? Because of,
isn't it?
Yeah, COVID.
And to bring the Mean Girls thing around, I think she was corralling Tina Fey just the other day. Like, she was with Tina Fey in the holding room. Supposedly she was taking care of Tina Fey just the other day. Randy is brilliant. Any of your viewers, you take a moment to research Randy Feltface. This is the kind of comedy that is so intelligent. He will make fun of veganism and teach you something about it. He will make fun of ordering stuff on the internet. He's so bright. He loves to swear, but he's so intelligent and so much more woke than I am. Like he does 3 minutes about Ernest Hemingway.
Yeah.
He goes, and it's fantastic. Randy writes a novel. I think the whole show's available on YouTube. I don't want to give another show a plug, but Randy's brilliant, and I'm not supposed to mention the person who plays Randy because he doesn't want that, and his name wasn't in our program, and his name isn't on the website, because he doesn't want to be known as the person inside the purple puppet, the person inside Grover, inside Barney. He's more than that, and I think he had a TV show in Australia. He hosts things all the time, and then he'll go build.
Did you say he's inside Barney too?
No, but that's how he's known.
Yeah, right.
Barney, you're the person who was Grover. You're the person who was Big Bird.
Yeah, or Oscar, right?
And he doesn't care about fame. Like, he was in Brooklyn doing a show in a basement, and he couldn't have been happier.
Yeah.
He carried an ironing board around, and that's what he did the show behind. And I was like, okay, we didn't make you do that off Broadway.
Yeah. Here's another.
Oh, all right. This is
Ed Asner, huh?
This is coming. This is another one of your exclusives and scoops.
Another Jim Master Show Live world premiere exclusive. You heard it here on our show first.
Looking at this, the 3 shows, Back to the Future, which is a big, lavish, wonderful musical. The one person or one puppet show, Randy, and then the Soap Myth couldn't be more different.
Yes.
The Soap Myth is an incredible, serious 4-hander play. There's 4 people on stage. One is Tova Felchin, who is brilliant. Right there's Tova, and Ed Asner. And if Ed is in any state to do it, he'll do it.
Mm. He is a trooper, isn't he? He's amazing.
He just turned 90.
Turned 90, right? Yeah.
Hear him with the lines. for this play.
Yeah.
We toured it as reading. And I'm honored to be working with Jeff Cohen on this. And I think Red Spear, Roger and I, will be lead producers on it. And that's a bit of a difference too, where I'm not really involved in the decision making of Back to the Future to change it from August 20th. You know, what color will the tickets be? What's the decor inside the theater? What each actor gets paid? You know, but that will happen for the Soap Myth. We're going to be lead producers, which could be naming them above the title. And this should come to Broadway. We were thinking of bringing it to Broadway February of 2020 and, you know, in the fall of 2020. And then
yeah. That's, I'm sure, riveting and very poignant and moving, huh? Soap Myth?
All right. It's about the myth.
Yeah.
Of the myth that Jews were made into bars of soap during the Holocaust and given to other Jews to shower with. And the Holocaust Center feels they must call it a myth right now because they can't prove it. And the Asner character says, I'm a witness, I was there, you know, and they're like, eyewitness testimony is not enough. You know, if there was a bill of lading, if there was and he's like, when his character's being interviewed about this, he goes, let's say there's a list of all the people who are in Auschwitz and my name's not on the list. The girl goes, why wouldn't your name be on the list? He goes, I don't know. Let's say it's not there. It didn't happen. I wasn't there. And it's so chilling. It's chilling. And then Tova, who's played Golda Meir, on Long Island right now in a Dr. Ruth play, being Dr. Ruth at the Bay Street Theater, where we had Asna do the reading once of this. She plays a Holocaust denier at one point, and you like her. And then she comes back, and you hear the way she just twists these facts. She goes, was it 6 million? Could it have been 5? Was it 2? Does it have to be 6? And what Jews use this for? And they go, it's just it's so chilling. And I think it's so diametrically opposed to Back to the Future, the musical, that I think to do both of those, that's going to be exciting for me. And I really want the soap. And the thing about the Soap Myth is it's so smart. It's written so well. It starts off with this Jewish comedian, there you go, making jokes to people in the Catskills. And it goes on, and it's brilliantly written. It's 90 minutes. And once we open on Broadway, it will be a show that gets done in every local community theater because it's people
will pick that right up. Yeah.
And there won't be any survivors soon.
Right.
You know, and it's intimate, it's smart, and it just rips you apart.
So stay tuned for that, folks. Here's another.
Ooh, that's an interesting one. This should be soon. That's Courtney Love.
Yes.
And Courtney's beyond brilliant. I think in one of your other shows that I was like, when I was doing my research,
watching the show.
Yeah. Somebody on it was like, she feels like these singers, Courtney Love, Fiona Apple, and believe it or not, Margaret Cho sings like Fiona Apple. Margaret can sing. That brilliant comedian.
Yes.
This Kansas City Choir Boy with Todd Almond, we should be releasing that album. Should be coming out by the end of the year, and it's been a long time. It's finally been picked up by Sony, so you know we needed help.
Yeah, right, exactly. Look at this. Look at that group.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's Amy Schumer. I couldn't think of her name.
Amy Schumer.
Steve
Martin. Yeah.
And Laura Benatti.
Yes.
I loved when she would play Melania and Trump on The Late Show. Power did well for us because of the people in it. And it was a funny little show. And the guy from Key and Peele was in it too. Yeah, Keegan Michael. He was brilliant in that.
Keegan Michael Wayans?
Keegan Michael.
Oh, yeah. Keegan Michael K. Yeah.
And he was I've never seen him that way on his silly comedy show. He was a tall, handsome, leading man. It was really, really something. He was great. I'm like, I was surprised he doesn't have more leading roles in a serious man. He was astounding. Amy Schumer was brilliant. She was just really funny. And Laura Benatti was these people were terrific.
Yeah.
That was a fun opening night. Steve Martin Short were there. It was a lot of fun, and they were really gracious.
That had to be, yeah.
There's a brilliant producer I'm lucky to work with besides, outside of Red Spear, and his name is Mark Levine. And I think Mark Levine.
Yeah. He was the guest on our show too. So maybe it was that episode that you saw.
No, I think it was a singer. Some singer who was one of this was not one of the first, maybe one of the first Red Spear ventures into Broadway. I liked it. And it didn't play that long though. I guess it really couldn't find its audience.
No, huh?
Liev Schreiber was in it, and
how long do you typically give? I know working in television and radio, television used to give shows more time to find its footing. They'd move it in different time slots, and if that didn't work, then maybe they take it off and then they try to tweak it and bring it back. I know that in the beginning, when The Odd Couple on ABC first aired, it wasn't a hit. The network stuck with it, and then it became a hit. And now, of course, in reruns, Tony Randall, Jack Klugman, it's a legendary show. But some shows in television don't start out of the gate. But now, they'll chop it in one night if it doesn't get ratings. How do you do it with these shows here? Do you have a certain length of time to allow it to breathe?
It's pretty cutthroat. Two of my college roommates, Paul Koopman and Andy Cotelli, could do line for line from the Odd Couple series. And I was just noticing, I just posted on my Facebook, like all these shows that are being canceled, and they really didn't get much of a run. Like Rebels, like it's, they didn't try to move it around, like you said. No. They didn't try to give it longer. They didn't find an audience,
and then they just cut it, right? Yeah.
Broadway is so expensive.
Yes.
If a show isn't selling, I don't know. They should listen to me more. I would figure out a way to get bodies in seats by hook or crook. It's hard to do. It's hard to do if a show's not finding its footing. Randy played to half houses, but that was okay because our budget was so brilliantly done where we just had, right. If you look at Randy, we didn't have wigs, we didn't have costume, we didn't have makeup, we had minimal set. It was a very affordable show to bring to off Broadway. To bring something to Broadway, there were so many salaries, so many for Dangerous Liaisons. The costumes were incredible, the cast was huge, and when it wasn't selling, you just have to cut your losses. You can't. You and advertising is so expensive now. And how do you advertise? And where do you advertise? Nobody reads a paper, and you could just take an ad out and sell a show. When I first started working in Provincetown, and that town made me, Provincetown, Massachusetts, made me in New York.
Cape Cod, yeah.
It made me in New York, and you could just take an ad out in the 3 magazines, and people would know that there was a show.
Right.
Not so much. I had a big scandal with Naked Boys Singing in Provincetown in 2001. I had James Lacine doing a one-man show, who does brilliant one-man shows. I had Margaret Cho for like 18 nights in a church basement because she was trying out her show. She was feeling it before she went on tour. So she would cut a bit, fix a bit, move a bit, listen to it, watch it, video it. And I was so elated that she chose to allow me to produce it because, we killed. We made a ton of money in this song. There she is. Brilliant. And then Naked Boys Singing, I brought to Provincetown. And what happened was in Massachusetts, there were these blue laws, and you can't
work on Sundays.
Pornography, full frontal nudity anywhere within 500 feet of town hall or a church or a sex shop. So they would write me, and 2 tickets a night. And people thought they were going to close us down. They didn't close us down, but they ticketed me. And people said, there was a huge meeting in town hall, and I had to bring it from the town hall meeting room up to the auditorium that seats 700 people. Because in Provincetown, where everyone's an artist, and there are arts, there's art with nudes, A naked boy singing is the furthest thing from pornography. Margaret Cho's more pornographic than naked boy singing. Margaret Cho, you could take a kid to naked boy singing. Yeah, you're gonna see like a dangling
participle.
Dangling participle. But there's a lot of costumes in naked boy singing too, because there's all these different numbers. So they wrote me 2 tickets a night for $50. Now let's say, this is 2001. The ticket was an average price of $30. And we would sell, let's say there was an average house of 100. Okay. So people said, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to add 2 shows a week. And they went, what? I go, we're going from 6 shows to 8 shows a week. So if you do 30 times 100, that's 3,000. Times 8 is 24,000. I paid my 2 $50 tickets a night. I paid the $100 a night so I could make $24,000. And we were on the cover of the Cape Cod Times.
Yeah.
Naked boy singing shocks. It's far this from shock. They're doing the 20th anniversary in Cape Cod and it's a cast member, Tom Dangora, who's brilliant. Tom has turned into a brilliant producer. He has done these things, a benefit for Stonewall, a benefit to save the Laurie Beecham Theater, a benefit for the York Theater, where he's had people, he's had Hillary Clinton, he's had Patti LuPone, he's had people from all walks of life donate like a few minutes or a song. They did the musicals, and it was a star-studded cast. And Tom is going to produce, he was in Naked Boy Singing 21 years ago. And he's producing the 20th anniversary up in Provincetown for like 3 nights outside, seating outside, because, the show must go on.
Yeah.
Once that scandal hit, I learned that nothing can sell something better than to tell people you can't see it. You can't get a ticket.
Then all of a sudden everybody wants it. It becomes the hottest ticket.
Right. I mean, look at Hamilton.
Town. Yeah.
You get a ticket to Hamilton, so now you have to get a ticket.
Right.
And, don't tell me I can't go see Naked Boy Singing. And that was it. And everyone was, they used to say they went and they saw the drag queens in Provincetown. Well, now I saw the Naked Boy Singing in Provincetown.
Marty Thompson's watching, and Marty, he's doing our super chat here. Hey, Marty, thank you very much. We really appreciate that. It goes, "G'day, mate. Welcome to the lovely gang. What was your favorite character in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?"
I love Danny DeVito. He can turn a phrase, and I haven't seen the new series that one of the actors is doing. He's all worked out now, and he's doing this mythical game new series on like Apple TV or something.
Yeah.
But I have to, a friend of mine says, you got to watch this. You'll love it. just like they recommended Ted Lasso. But there was a show that one of the cast members is doing, and I got to tune in. The guy that got all buff and worked out, who says it was a horror.
Yeah.
Funny. If I could ever act or be, he would be who I would choose to put in a production. Or he could be Asna's understudy. He could be on the days that Asna doesn't do it.
The days he's not available. Cassandra Ross, welcome, Cassandra. Good to have you here, watching in San Francisco Bay Area in California. What and who do you teach, please? So, as far as what you teach,
I'm retiring. I have
another world premiere exclusive, folks. Did you hear that? He is loading us up with world premiere exclusives.
I teach high school, and that's why I have the house in Massapequa and the place in New York. It's been wonderful. And so many of my students are in the arts. And I was talking with Jim before the show. I had it made, and I had a real signature job. I ran the high school radio station, and the kids are on FM dial, and of course we're on the internet now. We're on WPOB.com, and it's 88.5 FM. There are only 4 high school radio stations on Long Island. There might be a 5th or 6th that are just on the internet, and all the kids learn the FCC rules and regulations.
Yeah, that's what we did. Yeah, we learned all that early. Yeah.
You know about underwriting, Jim? Do you have people underwriting your show?
That's what we did. Yeah, not this show yet. I should. We
Just
need to have that.
And from how a microphone works to how a speaker works. One of my favorite units was the rock opera unit. And in this day where people get triggered so easily, I don't know if I could still teach it. I used to teach my fundamentals class, Tommy and the Wall, as if I was teaching Romeo and Juliet. We would analyze the songs and analyze the lyrics, and the kids would go crazy for it. And it'd be in the 4th quarter. So when the weather is getting nice like this,
yeah,
they would, let's go, Tommy and the Wall. And they've never seen, our teenagers haven't seen Tommy or the Wall. So they haven't seen the Anne Margaret Bean scene. They haven't seen the Pinball Wizard. They haven't seen Uncle Ernie. They haven't seen these incredible. They haven't seen these iconic things. And the Wall is so brilliant with those goose stepping hammer. I mean, that's an image. Also, of course, I'm the theater arts teacher, and they move you around in my district. And for a couple of years, I taught public speaking and 9th grade English. So 9th grade English is To Kill a Mockingbird, Of Mice and Men, Romeo and Juliet, A Few Good Men, The Miracle Worker, a bunch of short stories.
How do you balance that with the involvement in productions, the production companies, Broadway, all of this? Does it ever get overwhelming sometimes when you have certain things that are really coming alive production-wise, but then, of course, the teaching demands your time and attention, grading papers, all the things you have to do?
I feel like the kids get a more rounded teacher because I'm actually producing theater. So my theater arts teacher, as a theater arts teacher, my kids are hearing about, Be More Chill or about Back to the Future, the musical. They have this inside track, and I'll teach them the things that I'm learning and the things that I'm doing without promoting it. You don't do that. Some of the kids decided to come see Randy, but I didn't push them into it. They just decided that they wanted to support Mr. Weinstock and they wanted to see Randy. And the radio kids get that benefit too, because it's all showbiz. Yeah. One of my taglines on Red Spear Productions with Roger is, we go from broadcasting to Broadway.
I like that.
I've heard that before,
No.
And, when you have Courtney Love's album and, Randy the Purple Puppet and the Soap Myth, I like that, from broadcasting to Broadway. So
that's a real mix.
Both. Thank God I had both. Thank goodness, because as a teacher,
what did you docket? Freeport or?
I mean, it just to have it teaching was a wonderful job, and I love the kids and I love their energy. You're exhausted at the end of the day. There's no tired like teacher tired or COVID teacher tired, where you had kids on the screen and kids live and everybody's in masks. You make a joke in front of your classroom, anybody smiling? You don't know, they're wearing a mask. So it's tricky to balance both as a single person. When I came home, my time was my own. So I was able to take from 3, you go to work at 7 to turn on the radio station. You're out at 3. So there's a couple of hours, and certainly for the East Coast, you have time to do a good 2 hours work if you care to. The Jim Master Show is 3 o'clock for me here. I could have been teaching today and done this. Do you know what I mean? So it was just a path I took.
And it's the balance of life. Yes, the balance of life. And you've done it well. So and it is great for your students because you're in the thick of it and you're teaching it as well. So it's invaluable to have somebody like you all these years mentoring and inspiring young minds who want to go into these fields, because you are, I mean, generally you don't get that kind of experience until you go off to college, and that professor did this, did that, and now they're teaching at the university. So to have it early, even earlier in high school, is a true advantage. Huh? Do you still hear back from students too? Do they have some of the students moved on to bigger and better and great things?
God, yes. To circle back a second, is my brilliant entertainment lawyer, Jonathan Herzog. He taught law at Hofstra University. And, so, he's a lawyer. And then, so, they get that I have to say that you're right on the money with that. Because I was the radio teacher and the drama teacher, you have a different relationship. And I'm not bad-mouthing any curriculum than a math teacher where you're in front of the class. I have formed lifelong friendships with many of my students. Gilad Paz and Lisa Katz, I went to their wedding. They met over the wall in my classroom. And Gilad is an opera singer. He's part of this brilliant singing group. We went to dinner the other day. He's got an idea for this rock op, where an opera song, a rock song.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if he knows Rob Evan from Rocktopia, who's
a little different what he wants to do.
Friend of mine, and he was a guest on the show recently. Yeah. It's a small world.
But the latest, I just heard from one of my students, Austin Shapiro, who's brilliant. Austin's brilliant. And Lexi, and they have 1.5 million followers on TikTok. It's called Austin and Lexi, and their TikToks are, I don't know, they have 1.5 million followers.
I know, you're trying to sell tickets, and they have 1 million followers on TikTok.
No, right?
The world has changed. Did you do a TikTok video yet, Adam?
Yeah, I just it's easily lip syncing.
Can you say that again?
I don't recommend my TikTok channel to anyone, but Baxter, my dog, who's adorable, is in some.
The animals take the cake. Yeah, the kids, the animals, they always, yeah.
I mean, when you say followers, people think they're great that have followers. There's a squirrel with 4 million followers. So
right, yeah, it's all got to be in its perspective, right? There's.
Yeah. But there are a great many students of mine who are in broadcasting and in the theater world, and that makes me so proud.
That's
so
fantastic.
proud. So I see the great comments up.
Look at this, huh?
I love the great comment. I have, and this is from one of my students. Recently for Red Spear, we did this brilliant virtual show of a Boys Don't Wear Lipstick by Brian Belovich. And one of my former students was my associate producer. I gave him the title. And he was helping us get people to do a video segment for Boys Don't Wear Lipstick. And he got this for me. And this was on the table. These were the lights for the Great Comet. It's one of my prized possessions. His name is Chance Dennis. He's certifiably insane. He has Josh Groban's vest. He bought a chandelier from the Great Comet, and he has it in storage somewhere. Like, yeah. He has that costume. And Chance and Carly Fruckman were two of my students, and they decided to be my interns for Boys Don't Wear Lipstick, and they worked their butts off. And it came out great. The Great Comet was our second big foray with Red Spear, Roger Cooper and I, into Broadway, and we loved it. And it's a shame what happened, because of social media, there was this racism thing that came up. It was the least racist show on Broadway. It was the most diverse cast I'd ever seen. But it just, people got hold of something.
You might want to rephrase that. You said the least racist show. Not racist. Yeah.
It was the most diverse cast I've ever seen in my life.
Right. There's somebody else that said that phrase, but he's no longer around.
Yeah.
You mean not at all. Right. Exactly.
I mean, how do you handle it? I mean, something can come out of your mouth and you could wind up getting,
So I just say, what I mean is, That.
I try to be as woke as possible.
Yes.
I didn't, and I'm always willing to learn. I'm always willing to learn. We love The Great Comet. It was one of the cast albums that we also
So how long did it last?
Not quite a year.
Mm.
Not quite a year. You know, it was hard after Groban.
How long was Josh Groban with it?
Just about a year. He made it from opening to the Tonys.
To the Tonys, yeah.
And yeah, he was delightful
to work with.
And it was a spectacular show. And maybe it'll go into maybe you know.
Maybe it'll come back.
This is something I don't want to take lead on it because you have to redo a whole theater. You have to I mean, that's a oof. You know, maybe in retirement, but you know, you really have to. That one's a lot of work.
We showed this one earlier, yeah.
And Christopher Hampton also did. He does a lot of the books for, like, he also translated art for Yasmina Risa, and I've had my Christopher Hampton moment, and he's still around. Lloyd Webber is opening The Prince of Egypt again before they actually said they could.
Really?
And he's like, no, I guess they'll just arrest me. But people are buying tickets, so I'm not worried about it. Yeah, he's just, we're opening. And we're going to keep our people, we're going to keep everybody safe. This is a love of mine. I found this show in London at a little theater called Above the Stag that usually produces, I don't know, offbeat shows.
Yeah.
If you see, just to circle back again, Raul Ray, second in from one of the sides, he's got 4 million followers on TikTok, and he's brilliant. This show is terrific. I'd love to do it again.
4 million followers on TikTok. What does he do? Like 10-second videos?
I don't know. He's very charismatic.
Yeah.
And we got Raul because of his teacher, Mr. Rick Wilson, was his high school teacher. And he wrote to Raul, who was he was in LA, and he came to do this show for EAT, for Emerging Artist Theater. The show's brilliant. It's based on fact. The writer, J. Paul Deritani, did his research, and it was about these two kids who were hung and killed in Iran. I think it was 2005 because maybe they were gay. And there are pictures of their bodies hanging. People took pictures. It's a killer play. Now we had Nama Potok in it, Chaim Potok's daughter, and she was the mom, and she was brilliant.
Yeah.
Everybody in it, I was so lucky to work with. Russell Jordan is a phenomenal actor, and he played the judge in the trial. And it starts with this love story with the two boys.
Yeah.
And then it goes into this crucible-like trial with Shahira Law. And it's just, oh gosh, this show. Really wanted to do it in New York, but this is an 8-hander, and there's a lot of locations.
And explain that for the audience, in case they're not familiar with that. What's an 8-hander?
There's 8 people in it. So, that's stories, and probably, if you look at this cast, you would need a female understudy, a boy understudy, and 3 understudies. That's why the soap myth, you do with 5 people, 4 people. Amaran is brilliant. I love the title. And when I was watching it in London, I was like, I think I got to produce this. And we did it as a showcase for EAT. It was so good. That was the reading that I directed. Directed it myself, and it was, it was a good reading. And because the reading went well enough, we were able to move it to a full production. So because I directed the reading well, EAT was interested in producing it, co-producing it for, a few weeks in the New Work series, and different cast.
Yeah.
And Rick Wilson directed that very well. He did some great things.
There's Randy again. Look at all those stars too. Yeah. Critically acclaimed, huh?
That's from Edinboro. Those stars come out. When I was in Edinboro,
it's not easy to get those stars. So congratulations.
I wish I could go again, but I don't think it's the time to go to the Edinboro Fest. Do you think your viewers know what the Edinboro Fest is?
Tell them in case there's anybody, because we have an international audience. So some
the international people will know. The Americans might not.
The Americans might not, and the Canadians, yeah.
To the Jim Master Show, you might be aware. The Edinboro Festival is a festival of theater that is worldwide. That, like, Joan Rivers went. Like, people go to Edinburgh and people go to Adelaide. The Adelaide Festival is in Australia. I'd love to try to go in February of 2022. Now that I'll be retired, if the Australians will let us in. But Edinburgh is in Edinburgh, Scotland. It's insane. There are thousands of shows and hundreds of venues, and the festival book is like a phone book, and the city's like built by Escher. You're going up and down. It's fantastic, and it's so crowded. I've seen shows there in a cargo container, in a yurt. There's shows, in ginormous theaters all over, Edinboro University. And then, like, anywhere you are, there'd be a show. There's just everywhere. And then there's the free fringe, which isn't even listed, where people in bars are just setting up. A friend of mine, Tim, he played the singing nun, and he was brilliant. It was one of the best shows I saw. And he would say, well, it didn't cost you anything to get in, but it's going to cost you something to get out. And he would pass the hat, and he would make, if everybody throws in like €10 and there were 50 people there, he made some good buck. He made a good penny, man. Tim MacArthur. Yeah.
Tim MacArthur. That is cool. That's it. Got to make a buck. Really, I mean, the breadth and scope of people and productions, as I was saying, that you've been involved in. A Homecoming.
Homecoming is brilliant. I think Joe Beck has renamed it. I'm not sure the new name. This is Troy Miller I had directed.
Boy, if you knew the new name, that would be another world premiere exclusive.
Yeah, I can text him. If you look at the corner of that, it says the New York Fringe. And when the New York was thriving, that was maybe 200 shows.
Yeah.
So Edinboro Fringe, 3,000 shows. It's, there's a show at 7, there's a show at 8:30, there's a show at 10, there's a show at 11, they start at noon. And
sounds like my schedule.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually pretty impressed with your schedule. A Homecoming is about a gentleman with Alzheimer's. And it pulls on your heartstrings. It's beautifully written by Joe Beck in the English department with me. So he's a teacher as well. Joe Beck has penned a few novels. Oh, can you
have a Mr. Softy or ice cream truck going by?
Truck going to see. I'm in the suburbs of Massapequa now.
I know. I used to hear so many on the island. Do you want us to pause so you can run out and get a cone or something? I could vamp for a while if you want to. You need to run out and get an ice cream.
If I have to move, you tell me, because my neighbors are probably, it's Sunday. I'm surprised they didn't run out with the kids and stop them
to get the ice cream.
I heard that. Outside, but maybe the music's not going to run if that starts. It's usually runs.
Yeah, you're right. When they stop and all the kids surround it. Yeah, that is funny. That is funny. A little ice cream humor on the Jim Master Show live. I showed this earlier too. This great shot.
So, I did a show that I saw in the New York Fringe by Mark Sam. It was called Blanche Survives Katrina.
Maureen is watching in Arizona, and she says, maybe that's a taco truck. Ha, ha, ha.
Well, tacos, I would have left. I would have said goodbye.
Yeah. You would have jumped for the taco. Yeah.
Never. I would never leave you. In any case, so again, can't remember the guest in the hat. I know she was married to someone else in the show. My name's, and that's Mink Stoll and Everett Quinton. Mink Stoll was in all the John Waters films. And Everett Quinton
is a great name.
Yeah, and she's got some brilliant lines. She's a wonderful lady. She'll stay in my flat in New York when she needs it from Baltimore. She's terrific. Everett Quinton directed that virtual production of Boys Don't Wear Lipstick that I mentioned a little while ago, which was as a virtual show, it wasn't a checkerboard screen like you see, Jim. It's kind of like this. It was just one face, one story.
Face. Yeah.
Of a moment in Brian's life. That show was called The Cat with the Cat with the Jeweled Claws. It was a Tennessee Williams. Now here's the story behind that. Because of my Provincetown producing, I brought something from the New York City Fringe, which I thought was brilliant, which nobody else liked. It was called Blanche Survives Katrina in a Trailer Park Named Desire. And it was about Blanche Dubois having to go, after Katrina into the stadium with the other people. And Mark Sam was brilliant. And, someone passed her a crack pipe and she'd be like, oh, that goes right through me. It was just so funny. Now there's this very wonderful Tennessee Williams Festival curated by David Kaplan in Provincetown. And like I said, I made a name for myself in that town that caused the Times to come visit me and all these other things.
Are you going back this summer?
As a visitor.
Yeah. It's just relaxing and just taking in the sights.
David Kaplan approached me about producing in New York, something from the Fringe Festival, something from the Tennessee Williams Festival. And I got to meet Everett, who I knew. I got to meet Mink, who I hadn't known. The Tennessee Williams Festival will happen this season in September on a smaller level. They'll have like 20 shows. They'll bring people from South Africa. They have people doing all sorts, and they do some of Williams's most obscure work, usually a full production somewhere of one of his great plays that everyone knows, Streetcar Named Desire or, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. And then they'll do like the hotel plays where you have to go visit different hotel rooms around Provincetown, which we did for the University of the South, where like that has the whole Williams money. I'll go back to Provincetown this summer to visit friends and to see the 20th anniversary of Naked Boy Singing. So I'll probably go twice to the Cape. If we can't travel overseas, we could certainly travel this country. I'd love to get down to Baton Rouge and to New Orleans, over the course of the year. I'm going to visit mom and brother in Florida.
That's what we're doing too. In the summertime, we're going to be traveling and visiting family that we haven't seen, and relatives and family and we haven't seen in so long. Some of our, relatives and
right. And mom's not
the ones who aren't around here locally. We're going to go see everybody. Yeah.
My mom doesn't like the Zoom call. Like she's.
It's not equivalent. Yeah. Is she a hugger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to give my mom a hug. But I think 2022, if I have my druthers, I will be bringing Hannah Gadsby to Town Hall. She's a Australian comedian. I'll probably bring her to Fire Island too, although my co-producer in Fire Island doesn't know that yet because I haven't spoken to him about it yet.
World premiere exclusive.
And I'd love to bring Hans over from Australia. Hans with his accordion and his
We've talked.
Yeah.
I was mentioning, the amount of people in the world of comedy that you're affiliated with or have had an opportunity to work with. Paula Poundstone.
Oh, this is a lovely human being. She is so delightful. She's great, and she's so smart. And I have to tell you, when you near Paula, her cheekbones and her skin are so beautiful. It never comes across in a poster. It never comes across on TV. When you're near her, she's astoundingly beautiful and so intelligent. And I've had her in Long Island and Provincetown. I have her in my car. The funny thing is, these people have agents, and they deal with, this high school teacher from Massapequa. And, I'll pick them up at the airport, and I'll have the dog with me. Yeah. And, she'll have this whole rider, that her people will have sent. And I'm like, look, and she's like, what's that? And I'm like, that's what you want. She goes, I don't want any of that. So usually I just give her a box of Pop-Tarts and a bag of Raisinets, and that's it, man.
And then they're good.
I get the rider and I sign it and I send it off. Of course, I'll give her all those things. And, we'll get to Provincetown. She goes, I got to get a lobster roll. Let's go.
Look at this lineup.
All these incredibly talented women are the kindest, most loyal. I mean, even in the world of show business, someone stole Paula from me in Provincetown. They offered her a ton more money than I was giving her, a ton more money than I gave her. But she'd come back in a second because we have that relationship. The same thing with Linda. What happens probably because of me in some sense, got very cutthroat. And when they saw that I had these shows that were selling out, they made an offer. And they're like, well, here's 5,000 more. Okay.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, and and I don't hold anything against them. They're wonderful people. They're all in my phone. They're delightful. I should bring Linda to Long Island when Long Island opens up again. If somebody hasn't.
Anytime you bump into them at a diner and they want to be a guest on our show, they are
I was
all
with
welcome.
Linda to Katz's diner. And
your Rolodex is probably fantastic.
Linda's
Make sure you mention I was on the Jim Masters show live.
I will. I most certainly will.
It's a great lineup of people here.
Well, Linda was married to that brilliant musical writer whose name I can't remember, and we were down in the village, and we all went to Katz's Deli. So there I am in Katz's Deli having a pastrami sandwich next to Linda, and it's terrific.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. And Margaret is the most loyal. Oh, okay. So this picture, I'm guessing it's in Provincetown or Fire Island. That's me, Linda, and a former student of mine, and who came to the show. He's a teacher now himself, and he does a musical camp for kids. Really well done. He usually gets Broadway people to show up and teach the kids. Again, with the names,
as long as you remember your name, that's a plus.
If he watches this, he's going to kill me. But yeah.
That is cool. That is really a great shot. You mentioned, Margaret Cho and working with her. Obviously, that's fantastic, huh? She's a riot.
Well, Margaret's worldwide. So's Linda, so's Paula. But Margaret is. You're gonna find if you watch TV at night, you're gonna see Margaret on Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah.
Or I mean, she was in The Masked Singer's first season. She was the poodle. I mean, Margaret will be. She was on Beat Bobby Flay the other day. I'm watching this Margaret on Beat Bobby Flay. I'm like, why don't you tell me? She's like, I can't. And she'll pop up in movies that you wouldn't. She was in Face Off, the Travolta and Nick Cage movie. She was, recently in an episode of CSI. Work.
Right.
Constantly.
Incredible.
Her management are the kindest people. Sarah Martin, who's and her partner Ian Harvey is a brilliant comedian as well.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Marty Thompson. Thanks again, Marty. That's our super chat. We really appreciate that, Marty. You are terrific.
Good to see Australians to Nashville.
Yeah. See, do you get to Nashville at all, or not really?
I only hit Nashville when I brought that some Tennessee Williams to the Theater of the South down there in Tennessee. But and I was floored by Nashville because I always thought it would just be too country. But it was just artists producing art, and country music's not my genre, but it was people producing music. It was great. I loved the feeling in Nashville.
Some other shots we have.
And I usually work in conjunction with the Paramount. I had Lisa on my own at Town Hall, 2 shows. Yeah, and
she's a riot.
She was really nice too. She gets that Queen of Mean
title.
You don't want to cross her. You don't want to come on the wrong side of her because she's got a mouthpiece on her. But she was on that show. What was it? The Apprentice? With that,
she was on the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's when. Yeah, she was funny on that.
On The Apprentice.
She just laid right in.
Yep. So I could call Lisa, and maybe she could call what's his name.
She was funny. Yeah, she was very funny on there. There's another one we have here too. So yeah, I mean, you really, it's
this is a trip down memory lane. This is inspiring me to do more now.
Every single guest has said that. Every single guest says that when they come on our show, that it gives them this inspiration to want to
your life
to sort of get back out in there. Here's another closure.
Oh, this is some of our films. Luckily, once you produce, this is a tip for anyone, people will find you. People will find you with with projects. And you really just have to do what appeals to you, and they're going to think it's wonderful. Don't you want to be a part of this? And you read a script, and then you decide to get involved or not. Closure is an insanely watchable film. I mean, it's on Amazon Prime right now. There's probably more than one thing called Closure, and you will recognize people in it. But it's a husband and wife team. They made the film for an incredible budget. And you can see there's an urn behind her outside of LA, and they lose her luggage in the first scene, and she's like, is anything important in it? She's like, yeah, my mother. And she's looking for her sister, and I think the biggest name in it is Dee Wallace Stone, who plays sort of
she was a guest on our show a couple weeks ago. She's wonderful. She was a guest. Look back at that episode. You can see that episode on our YouTube channel. We talked about everything, E.T. and all of it. It was epic.
I have to call the episode up because the location for one of the scenes was her backyard. And they didn't use casting directors. They just asked people to do it. And I should have flown out there to be in this one bar scene. I should have had my little cameo. I should have. Never going to make that mistake again. I had to take off. There it is.
That's what you talked about earlier.
I was so proud of this cast. So if I can, let's see if I can get everybody's names. Obviously, Margaret Cho is up top. And that was, one of my biggest gets. Then the writer, Brian Belovich. This is about his life. Got Daphne Ruben Vega. Is in the next page, and she is. You may have just seen her the other night in the Heights movie. Daphne Ruben Vega is in it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The person below is transgender. Her name is Peppermint, and she is from Broadway. She was in Broadway, and she is from RuPaul's Drag Race. Below Peppermint is Lena Hall. That my intern Chance Dennis, who is a big fanboy and of hers, got to do it. Like the producer didn't get Lena Hall. Somebody who Instagrams with her constantly and is the biggest fan, like the guy that bought me that lamp from the Great Comet. Chance got us Lena Hall. And then the other person, the person in red, that is Yu Hamasaki. I got from one of the other films we worked on. Mason Park in the white is in Australia, New Zealand now, filming the live action Cowboy Bebop. Johnny, and like I said, I can't remember anybody's names today, which is terrible. And what happened was Brian Belovich, this is an incredible story, born a little boy, and born in the 60s, and in the 70s he decided he was a little girl and got married to somebody in the army and went to Berlin as an army wife, and he was just beautiful. Lived his life for about 17 years as a woman. Had gotten top, had the top. Came back to New York, acted, did a bunch of things, and as he grew, he realized the person he was becoming didn't identify as female anymore, and he retransitioned back to Brian. So he's been a guy for the past 30 years. So he transitioned twice. And it's incredible. And that's why we cast The Rainbow, because Brian did this show off Broadway where he told his story. And it starts with him as a little boy trying on lipstick, and it starts with him turning tricks, and then going to Germany. Margaret played him as the army wife, and then he came back home, and then he had a date in the park, and everybody, it's a trans person's story. If we were to go with one person today, we would have to cast a trans person, probably Johnny. And what we did was we cast The Rainbow. And Lena said, how can I play this? How can I play this role? And she's like, oh, it's just a woman who's getting stood up on a date. I can do it. And she killed it. They all did great jobs. They all did. Margaret just did it as a favor for me, for free.
Just as a favor.
they did it for free because it was a virtual, virtual shows in November. I'm guessing Equity and people are getting paid now to do readings. It was a reading, and it was for EAT, and we gave some money to a hospital that helps trans people too. But it's a great story. I think it'll be a great film. Maybe.
It's terrific. Yeah.
Stay tuned
on that too. Yeah.
Everett Quinton, who was in the picture with me and Mink and I, he directed. And and it didn't need a lot of directing. The people filmed their bit and sent it, but they spoke on the phone with Everett first, and it was we didn't have to get everybody together for a Zoom. It wasn't a Zoom. We did it, and then Austin Shapiro, my former student with the big Instagram and TikTok following, he edited it for me. So graduates, once the students graduate, and once you have a relationship with people and you've proved your worth to them, they'll do you a favor.
Right.
I mean, for Margaret to take time out of her day and all these people to do it. I mean, first of all, you have to love it. Asna always gets asked, why are you doing a reading of The Submit? And he's like, I like to play.
Yeah. You worked with Sandra Bernhard too.
Yeah, I was just watching her in Pose. Sandra's, some of these people, she's terrific. She's terrific. That was in Provincetown as well. I was the producer of Note in Provincetown for, I don't know, a decade. Now there's other people doing it. And these people still go back to Provincetown. I brought Leah Delaria there, 15 years ago. Now she owns, Leah was going to Provincetown before me, but she owns a place called The Club. So now Leah has her own piece of Provincetown. She's a staple. It's a beautiful place to see a show, to sit on the beach, to take a bike ride. But like I said, you could bring an act there. You can take an ad out in a paper and put on a show and sell tickets. You can't quite do that in New York, man, without spending.
You see Gary watching from Barcelona, Spain. She says hello as well from Barcelona. Wonderful. And we have Sweden watching and all around. Obviously you've had this wonderful career and you've balanced the career of being an educator as well as a producer and working, with the production companies and an investor and creator and performer yourself as well. What are some of those things that sort of continue as you're inspiring everybody else? What are some of those things that inspires Adam Weinstock to do what he does?
Good work, good people, good, honest people. I find as I get older, just people that are kind will inspire me. Someone was asking me if I would, there's a great performer named Lipsinka, and I think she's written a play, and I'm gonna give it a read. But a couple of months ago, when we were deep into it in the winter, in January and February, and we were all sheltering still and cold and freezing and masking, when someone asked if they would send me something, I was like, I'm gonna tell you, this is gonna be hard to say and admit, but I actually told a friend that I've worked with before, I go, don't send it to me because I won't read it. I'm just not gonna get to it. And
time-wise, yeah.
She was like, what do you mean? I go, if you send it to me, in 2 weeks, you're going to want to know my opinion.
Yeah.
You're going to have a discussion about it. And I know I won't have read it. I have to grade the Miracle Worker papers. I don't have the gumption. I don't, and I don't like to read on a screen so much. And then 2 weeks later, if I still haven't read it, you're going to be mad at me for not having read it. So just, respect that this is not the right time to send me anything. And you know what? She got it. I don't think she had a problem with it. And she's a brilliant writer, and I'd really like to read it now if she'll let me. But back then, there was, I think it's a musical. There was no way. I get inspired in the oddest ways. I think you mentioned The Boys in the Band, which they did on Showtime and did on Broadway. I brought to Off-Broadway in 96, 97. And I just had this idea because I had seen these 8 gay men shows. One was called Party, and one was called Love, Valor, and Compassion. And I'm like, there are all these shows about 8 men, gay men getting together. Why don't we do a revival of Boys in the Band? And I got blocked, and I got blocked, and I got blocked, and the agent would hang up on me. And it was so hard. And I just really thought the time was right, and it turned out it was. But you know, I feel like I want to ask you, Jim, what inspires you? But I get inspiration in the oddest places. I do like going to the theater festivals.
Yeah.
That's where I found Randy. That's where I found Blanche Survives Katrina. And I'll like something that someone else won't, you know?
Merlin says, I hope being here has inspired you.
I think it has.
From Ontario, Canada. Thanks, Merlin. That's nice. What else do you have coming up? What is on that bucket list for you, Adam, of things you have not done yet, which is hard to believe, that you still want to do, that are out there that you'd love to chase and be a part of? And it could be outside of the arts too. It could just be anything.
I really feel like I'd love to act again in something.
Get back in it, yeah.
I just feel like I just want to give it. I just want to see, you know. But this is, you know, it's dangerous. I don't know if I could be in a play. I don't know if I could memorize all the lines. But
what about a television sitcom or something if that came along?
Yeah, how am I going to get one of those? You know, if somebody asks, I'll happily try. I'll happily challenge myself.
You never know.
I think I'm gonna take me a gap year. Retirement will officially convene the end of this school year, which is June 25th. That's official retirement. And I don't think I want to make any major changes in life for a good year. I want to see how I exist on my pension. And Roger Cooper and I with Red Spear, we don't want to make a foray back into Broadway until September of 2022. Now, I realize shows are going to open now, and one of ours will reopen, but they don't need a reinvestment. And we were just investors on Tina, the Tina Turner Broadway musical.
Yes, that's right.
I mean, it's terrific. And Roger disagreed with me on that one. He just thought it was going to be another jukebox musical. I'm like, it's not the Donna Summer musical. Some people like the Cher show. That didn't play long. I go, there's something about this one that's different. You know, like Jersey Boys or I'm sure the one about, it's not the Supremes, will reopen again.
Yeah.
Again with the names. So maybe I can. I hope I can. And I'd like to travel as much as I can, you know, in the car, go down the East Coast, hit DC.
Yeah. You want to take some time and see and be a part of life, right? Exactly. Without the schedule and the deadlines and the things that you had to be a part of.
How to get out of bed if you're retired. I'm going to have to figure it out. But I think I have spiritually, emotionally, mentally figured things out. You know, I think I'm fairly content and good with myself. I think
you meditate at all?
I think I'd like to improve myself physically, like really begin that whole health journey before I hit the big 6-0 and see if it can be a year of really healthy eating habits and exercise. And if I'm doing that, if I'm living healthily and smart, I'm sure the other things will come to me.
Right. You know, health is paramount, mental and physical, spiritual, whatever it may be. All of those you have to have first, so you can have the fortitude to work on everything else. Yeah. So that's a good plan.
If I grab the reins of the Soap Myth, if I really lead produce and have to start building a budget and looking for theaters, and you know, I really think we should probably open up in London first before we come here. I don't know if people in America right now after COVID are going to run to the theater, even with Ed Asner, to see a show about Jews being made into soap in the Holocaust.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's what this country is looking for at the moment. However, you know, I would like to get it to some really brilliant actors who could play half the days besides Ed. And you know, I think they have a different view of the theater in London that they might go.
Yeah.
To it there if it had the right, you know, star, you know.
Yeah.
You know, Rowan Atkinson or somebody, you know. I'm not sure who we get. But I think these are the discussions to be had. And they wanted to have them in December and January and February. And I was like, Why are we having this discussion?
Yeah.
Because we hadn't even had vaccinations yet.
Right.
So
at that time back then. Yeah. Right.
I wasn't up for it. I didn't want to hear it. I couldn't sit to it. But I think now I can.
Now you can.
So it's a whole change. Thank you, Jim Master. It's a whole change.
See? Not the Midas touch, it's the master's touch, right? Right, George Burns? Right, George Burns sitting down there? George Burns agrees. Well, you'll have to keep us posted on the cool things that you're doing, because you've got your hands in a lot of different things. And there's some preview teasers that we just did today on the show of some really great projects that are forthcoming. So let's stay definitely in touch and keep me posted on what's happening and some of the new things that you're doing. And I hope that this time here on our show met whatever expectations that you had, and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I definitely have with you, Adam.
Very much so. When your viewers hear about the Soap Myth and Back to the Future opening wherever they open, this is gonna. I heard it on Jim Master's show first, and like I said, just now, 2021. To bring Heather Gadsby and Hands to Cape Cod in a year, you have to start working on that now. So, I think that is a goal. I'd like that very much. And maybe to Fire Island or even.
Roma, see the words Roma has? Roma says, Roma Mafra.
Oh, my God, Roma. Oh, my goodness.
I'm always so proud of you, Roma. Barrie, Ontario, Canada.
This is someone that knows me. This is a wonderful woman, a brilliant woman I was allowed to get to know back in Chicago when I was doing the Second City Day. Oh, my goodness, Roma. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Thank God you still want to be associated with me.
Oh, sure. Thanks for joining us, Roma, too.
We dated, and 30 years ago. So the fact that she still wants anything to do with me is a blessing.
See? Another world premiere exclusive on the Jim Master Show Live yet again.
Goodness. Watching in Canada.
Well, this was awesome, my friend. And again, I hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I certainly have with you.
I know that I have a lot of Jim Master Show yet to watch.
To catch up on, right? Spread the word. Tell everybody you know about the show. Love that.
Can we give a shout out to that really kind, brilliant person that I got to know because of a wonderful person who you must have had on, Jamie DeRoy.
Jamie was on, yes.
Jamie DeRoy introduced me to a gentleman named Ralph Lampkin.
Mm-hmm.
Ralph just, he took an instant liking to me, so I instantly liked him back, and he worked for free also on Boys Don't Wear Lipstick, and he's the one who connected me with you. He just thought we would, and he mentioned it months ago. He thought that we would do good things.
Yeah.
I hope you and I stay in touch, Jim.
Yes, let's definitely do that. Hopefully we'll break bread soon. That'll be really, really cool in the city or whatever it may be.
Like that.
Yeah, that would be really, really cool.
I'd like to see the hair. I'd like that very much.
Oh, it's back there. If it doesn't get chopped off. It was a pleasure. I don't know if you have anything left in those mugs.
I have
we shall toast you, and George Burns toasts you as well. It was a pleasure. What are you going to do now? Since the Jim Masters Show live appearance was the highlight of the day with all the loveties, what is Adam going to do now? You're going to make a nice pastrami sandwich or something? Or
I am going to wrap 2 gifts for my friends' kids who were students of mine. I am going to go to Rebecca Gerke's house and bring Jared Gerke and Jamie Gerke, who were born a year apart almost to the day. Jared's birthday is the 14th and Jamie's is the 16th. They were both students of mine. And now I'm friends with the parent, and I'm going to drop off their birthday presents and have a slice of pizza. And I don't think that's a perfect Sunday early evening.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Everybody wishing you well, and we wish you well as well, Adam. Thanks for joining us, my friend. You take care and spread the word, and we will spread the word. We're all in this together, and it was really a pleasure.
So wonderful, Jim.
High five.
Damn.
All right. Adam Weinstock, the one and only on the Jim Masters Show Live, with several world premiere exclusives you heard here first. Good stuff. You take care, Adam. Thanks for joining us and spending almost 2 hours with us.
Do I shut off or do you?
Oh, I never shut off. No, we'll do a fade to black. Have you just gingerly sort of?
I really want to put my dog on screen, but he's not cooperating.
Some have asked about the puppy. Yeah, show the puppy.
All right, give me 1 second.
What's his name?
His name is Baxter.
And there's the chair. Another one. Score. We get to see the guest chair on the Jim Master Show live. God, that's what 50 chairs we've seen.
Caring terrier, and he was a rescue. Hi, Baxter. Can you see so? He's not cooperating, but that's Baxter.
Not a stage dog, huh?
You know what? He doesn't look great now, but I did want to get him an agent. I think I shall keep trying that one too.
I was just about to say he probably only works union, and
you can't take a bad picture. I'll have to. I'm trying.
Yeah, exactly.
Make daddy some money in retirement.
Yeah. Ciao, my friend. As I say to all the guests, now you've got D. Wallace. You've got several episodes to watch here on the show.
Yes.
I say to all the guests, now go stretch those legs.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers, my friend. Take care. All right. Good stuff. That is Adam Weinstock, our very special guest this afternoon with an afternoon edition of the Jim Master Show Live. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And a multitude of really cool productions he has coming up, too, for us to keep a watch of. And he's going to keep me posted, and we shall let you know, as we go along here on our show. We're going to wrap up. We are going to the coast. Well, we're on the coast here, but we're going over to the water. We got to have some, we were going to say lunch. We didn't have lunch yet today because we had the afternoon show. So it's time for some dinner. We are back, not tonight. We are off tonight because we did a 2-hour show just now, just about 2 hours. But tomorrow, wow. Boy, do we have an amazing guest tomorrow. And she's all excited. We were chatting today. Eileen Graff, wonderful actress and Grammy-nominated singer. You may know her as the mom on Mr. Belvedere on the 1980s series on ABC with Bob Uecker. And, oh, yeah, she's with us tomorrow. This is going to be amazing. Tuesday, New York Times best-selling author. I say multi because he's been a New York Times best-selling author for about 30 times. David Fisher is with us. He has several new books to talk about, including his newest, The Executive Order. That is going to be on Tuesday. We can't wait for that. The one and only Rosalind Kind is with us on Wednesday. Now, if you're watching this later on, you're not watching us live, just scroll through and on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and you'll see these episodes if you're watching this week's later. But at the time of this live show, this Wednesday, the one and only singer, actress, songwriter, sister to Barbara Streisand, Rosalind Kind is with us on Wednesday. The incredible comedy writer, comedian, author, actor, Emmy-winning Jeffrey Mark is with us on Thursday. We're really looking forward to that. Marty Thompson is with us on Friday. That's right. The Aussie crooner, singer, entertainer extraordinaire on Friday. Marty is with us live from Nashville on Saturday next week, live from France. This is Alexis Chavalier. Alexis is related to Maurice Chevalier, of course, the world-renowned French actor. They are relatives. This is his great-grandnephew, Maurice's great-grandnephew, Alexis, right there on your screen, joining us next Saturday on the Jim Masters Show Live. And that's just a sprinkling of some of the guests we have coming up here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Always a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for all the great comments, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That's big time. We would love if you do that. That does help our show. Some people say, what can we do to help? Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't. Click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our episodes. We do them generally 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. However, sometimes we do earlier shows like today. We do pop-up shows on locations, surprise shows where we just pop up as well. So you see it on the screen, YouTube, the channel you're watching right now. And also click thumbs up on this episode on the video. That is helpful to us as well. And drop a comment on the YouTube channel. I know you guys like to do it in chat, and we love that. Do it on the YouTube channel as well. They monitor that, and so do we, and we're responsive there as well. You guys are the best. Thank you so very much. And let's take a look at a couple more last minute comments. Jane and Mary and Issy and Maureen and Jane again and Marty and Jane again and Juanita. Everybody here, thanks for being with us. Good to see everybody. Merlin and Issy, it's good to see you in Barcelona, Spain. And Maureen in Arizona. I wonder if Maureen and Jane are still fighting over that chair from our comedian Al Ernst, who was on our show this week. If you missed any of our episodes, they're all on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and we've had some amazing, epic conversations and viewer interaction and great guests. Lovely show. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Jane in Sweden and Eileen Graff will be great tomorrow. Another great show. Good day and good night, Jim and lovely friends. Lovely friends. Yes. And Jane, good night too as well. You guys are the best. As we always say, don't forget to smile. Don't forget to share the levity. Find your Zen place. That's where we're headed right now, to the ocean. And mine, of course, ultimate is loving family and friends, cycling, tennis, music, writing, and the ocean, swimming, surfing, boogie boarding, sailing in it. I love the ocean. And my work in television and radio and film and stage, on air, on camera, and behind the scenes. Love it all. And do what you love what you do. That is really, really important. And of course, we always say, whether it's the weekend or not, don't forget to take time for yourself, love one another, and love yourself. Hey, do you see that the balloons right there are what they're still hanging on? These are from our 1-year anniversary celebration that we did. Remember that epic 1-year anniversary celebration with all of the amazing celebrity guests and celebrity friends, and just that was a 3-hour extravaganza. If you missed that episode, it's on our YouTube channel. Those balloons that every once in a while sort of move around are what are remaining right there in that red area. They are what are remaining from the Jim Masters Show Live 1-year epic anniversary episode. They're still there, hanging on. They're getting a little funky, but they're hanging on there. So we'll keep them there. They move around when our central air conditioning system turns on. There's a vent over there, and then they start sort of moving around. It looks like they're just floating. It's kind of cool. Don't forget to relax. Don't forget to love one another and love yourself, as we say as well. We are very hungry. Time for some food and some enjoyment. Getting out in this beautiful sunshine. It's going to be probably an incredible sunset here on the water along the coast. We can't wait. Marty says, enjoy the beach. Get those minerals in your feet. Absolutely. Moi to you, Issy, in Barcelona, Spain. And the balloons live on. Yes, there they are. They're moving around now. The central air conditioning system just turned on, kicked on with some coolness. And I see them moving around there, and that's kind of cool. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And relax. Yes, we're definitely going to do that. Big lovely hugs to you all. To you as well, Maureen. Absolutely. Let's do one of those big ones there. You got it. Gang, take care. Thanks for being with us. We're back tomorrow with Eileen Graff from Mr. Belvedere and a lot more. She's amazing. We look forward to having her here on the show as well. And it's always great when you guys are here as well, too. We love when you're here. Share the levity. Tell everybody about our show. We've created something kind of cool and special here, you know, and unique. Takes a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. Thanks to our friends, too, at LMG. We love them, too, Laughing Music Group, for their wonderful love of our show. We love them back. It's always fun when we get a chance to connect with them as well. And it's always fun when we connect with you. I'll leave you with that. If you have a rough day tomorrow, remember that. One more time, if you have a rough day tomorrow, maybe at work or whatever, there you go. Think of that. All right, gang, we're going to duck out. We got a beautiful sunset coming soon, and it's time to eat. All of us here at the Jim Masters Show Live say thank you very much for being with us, and we love you all. You guys be well. Take care. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.